Welcome back to A to Z here on Locked On Sports Atlanta. Free on YouTube and wherever you get your podcasts. Search Locked On Sports Atlanta. Of course, give us a follow on Twitter at Locked On ATL. I'm at Mark Zinno, MarkZinno. Before we get to football news of a different variety, let's hand out a shovel of wisdom.
Brace yourselves, because it's time for the shovel of wisdom.
You know how we do it every day. We whack somebody right upside the head with a shovel, a metaphorical shovel, if you will. For doing or saying something stupid, you can do so as well on my Twitter account at Mark Zinno. Just use the hashtag shovel of wisdom. And today my shovel goes to Vince McMahon. You guys know Vince, right? McMahon, WWE CEO Vince McMahon. Big guy, old guy, 76-year-old old guy. And I start that because usually when you hear about a 76-year-old powerful old guy, you kind of know where this is going next. Well, the WWE board has opened up an inquiry into Vince McMahon and his alleged $3 million settlement for an ex-employee's silence. Why would he be silencing a former employee? Well, because that former employee, who just, I'm sure it's coincidence, happens to be a she, was given a separation agreement, and it's meant to prevent the former employee from saying anything disparaging or discussing her relationship with McMahon during the time that she worked there. Apparently, McMahon, who is 76, hired the 41-year-old on a $100,000 salary to be a paralegal, and he raised her salary to $200,000 after the start of an alleged intimate relationship with her. Right. What I always do after I started dating somebody was just give them more money. That's kind of not how it works when you're not rich. But anyway, it says that the board's investigation began back in April and has uncovered other non-disclosure agreements over the years involving misconduct claims from former employees against McMahon and John Laurinaitis, who is WWE's head of talent relations. At one point, an email to the board regarding the former WWE employee who was hired as a paralegal alleged that McMahon gave the woman a Laurinaitis, quote, like a toy. If they continue to investigate this, it's not going to go well for McMahon, Laurinaitis, or anybody else involved. And, well, for all intents and purposes, it shouldn't go well. Don't be a creep. Don't be that guy. It's really irritating at this point. Dude, if you're 76, just live out the rest of your life in peace and harmony. And if you need that sort of attention, there are much more discreet ways to get it than doing it with people within your own company. So stupid. Has nobody ever heard of the phrase, don't crap where you eat? Especially if you eat millions. Anyway, speaking of millions. There is a nasty little football secret coming to Atlanta, possibly. It's not the American football kind. It's the soccer football kind. It's the World Cup 2026 looks like it could be headed here to Atlanta. Something I think we'll find out by the end of today. Apparently, the 2026 World Cup soccer has been awarded to North America. And there's 16 American cities that are in the bid for hosting some of the matches, Atlanta being one of them. And if you look at the rest of the cities, you're looking at Boston, Cincinnati, Dallas, Denver, Houston, KC, LA, Miami, Nashville, New York, Orlando, Philadelphia, San Francisco, Seattle, and the greater DC area, Baltimore, DC. There are also 3 bidders in Mexico, Guadalajara, Mexico City, Monterrey, and 3 in Canada, in Edmonton, Toronto, and Vancouver. So I would assume the 16 candidates vying for the slots, you will get 2 or 3 cities in Canada being played, 2 or 3. Well, there's 80 matches, I should say. 48 teams, 80 matches. You get 2 or 3 cities in Canada will get them. 2 or 3 cities in Mexico will get them. We know that's probably a lock, stock, and barrel. And the rest of them will go to American cities, Atlanta being one of them. Atlanta is a great event city. It's a great host city. And it's a great city for big international events like this because it's such a melting pot, right? The cost is going to be through the roof. And that's going to be offset in many different ways that maybe the average person won't get. Like, it's not going to be in your straight taxes, but if you ever stay in a hotel in Atlanta, or you have to park in Atlanta or anything else, those prices are all going to go up for this. And if you're going to buy anything in Atlanta, like, sales tax may go up. So it's going to make certain things in the city more expensive for the time being until so they can cover the cost of what it takes to pay for the event. I don't know if that's good or bad. The other real hiccup here is that if they want to do it at Mercedes-Benz Stadium, which obviously would be the most viable of places to do it, but it's not really all that viable because the World Cup says that you have to play on grass, and Mercedes-Benz Stadium is not grass; it's the field turf. And apparently, though, MBS is already ready to temporarily put grass in. How they're going to do it, I'm not exactly sure. I'm not on a grounds crew or anything else, but what they say is that the playing surface would be raised. They'd bring in dirt and sand as the foundation for sod, put it over the field turf, and then take it all off. Now, this is all happening in August, which means there's football right around the corner in September. So I don't know on the timing of it. Maybe the Falcons play a very early preseason game that year, like the first week at home, and the other two are on the road, probably. I can speculate, but according to the people who are in charge of all this, it's not as complicated as you think to put grass down on Mercedes-Benz Stadium. It's pretty complicated to me. What the hell do I know? So, and oh, by the way, I know everybody loves soccer with the exception of me and most of the rest of America. But I'll say this much about the World Cup. I was enlightened to how dirty of an organization FIFA is, and I know nobody really cares. But it's absolutely worth a watch. If anything, for a laugh. Go back and check out John Oliver, the political comedian, and forget politics for a second because it's not about politics. He basically rips FIFA to shreds on how much of a just maniacal, disgusting organization they are, and all the bad and evil things that they do on a routine basis. But the world loves the World Cup and the world loves soccer, and so they kind of get away with it all. But if you go to YouTube on John Oliver and just type in FIFA John Oliver, the segment is really well done. It's very, very comical, to say the least. It's very the writing on it is fantastic. You'll enjoy it and you'll learn a little bit about it. So, nonetheless, FIFA is gross and disgusting, but soccer and the World Cup are a lot of fun, and it's the only time everybody in America is uniquely and wholeheartedly given or has interest in soccer because, well, it's America and it's the World Cup. All right, that'll do it for us today here on this Thursday. Make sure you check out all the shows on the Locked On Network, including A to Z. You got Hitting Harder, John Chuckery. ATL Day Ones with Jarvis Davis and Tanisha Batiste, our Braves postcast after every single win streak game. Well, after every game, but, the win streak's been a lot more fun. And, of course, Locked On Hawks and Locked On Falcons, Brad Rowland and Aaron Freeman, respectively. Give me a follow on Twitter at Margino. Back tomorrow, Friday, to get you guys ready for the weekend right here on A to Z. You guys have a great day. Don't take any crap from anybody. See ya.